Hello and welcome back to my GTNH playthrough. It is December 17th and let's get right into it. So, where we left off yesterday, I had crafted the Mark III fusion reactor. So, I did set one up. I'll hop over here real quick, show that off. I guess I could have started over here, but that's okay. So I did set it up down here. This guy ran power to it. Everything's all powered up, so it should be ready to fire. I don't have any recipes in it at the moment, though, and I might even raid this one to use the controller for a bit, and then come back and put a different one here later. As my original plan was like, yes, I got the Mark III reactor, gonna get the nitinol stuff. However, if we look into this a little more, and I guess I didn't grasp just how much was needed. So to get it, obviously we have to run it through this extreme heat exchanger. We knew that already. But once we get in here, we like, oh, we need runite plasma, xeon plasma. Xeon plasma in itself takes essentially beryllium plasma, which needs, I think, hold on. Now I'm got myself confused. Beryllium plasma. Oh yeah, which then itself comes from this chain of the plasma. And then we need Americonium plasma, which is also fine because we need a bunch of this stuff. But again, same thing. It's a bit of a plasma chain. And then down this runite plasma thing, we need astral plasma, astral titanium, which needs krypton, which also needs force plasma, which in itself needs multiple more. Basically, long story short, I think I did it out on paper, and I might have counted wrong, and I left my piece of paper at work where I was writing this out, but I believe I need a chain of 14 reactors ultimately to get this guy to fire. So I was like, okay, so obviously I'm not getting that done today. I mean, even if I wasn't having other issues, my auto crafting I don't think would be fast enough to get that done today. Maybe I would probably have to do it overnight. But so just to see if I could, I called up for 14 reactors to be crafted, just to see what I'd be short on. And if we were pull this up, fusion. We go, here's the Mark III. Say I try to craft up 12 of these. So we're missing a ton of UU matter, which we're not going to be able to get faster without nitinol anyway. So I might actually have to set up more of the single blocks and just really paralyze this for a little while. Which it sucks that not all of the blocks in that process can be used for the meteor afterwards, but at least some of them can. So, like, if I say I craft like 8, at least I'm going to get a bunch of cosmic neutronium and other stuff we'll need. Then I noticed we needed, and it's getting better, the samarium dust. So this was actually shut down because my monazite line had shut down. And it might have even been shut down so long that it was before 2.8 maybe. I can't remember when I finished crafting this guy, because I didn't have the power failure things on here, or I actually cleared it. Basically, one of these guys were shut down, so the monazite line, it said it had been shut down for something like 1,000 hours, or I think 1,000 hours wrong. Either it was a very long time. Actually, it might have been 1,000 hours because the game does run idle a lot more now. I don't think I took a screenshot of it earlier. I really should have. I thought it was funny. So I got that fixed, so we're getting more samarium. That being said, I do think I will need to set up the alternate samarium line as well, which is supposed to be like the less efficient, but where is it? Oh, it's not on here. It's in the main network. We also get this samarium ore concentrate dust, and there is a way to turn this into samarium, which you see I have nearly 1 million. So I should probably here sometime in the next couple days set that up. Actually, if I was being smart, I should have set it up earlier, but that's fine because it's not that many steps. Like if we go all the way back to the IV line, it's just from here to here. So 5 or 6 machines. I never did finish the hafnium and zirconium ones over here, but that's funny. Not actually that many quests from being done over here. Also, random, super random tangent. But if you're doing quests, do not claim all your Stone Age ones, or not your Stone Age. Don't claim all your Stone Age loot bags, because in the Steam Age, there's this quest where you need 3 basic Stone Age bags, and I apparently opened all mine. So at some point, if I want to be a true completionist, I'm gonna have to run through dungeons until I get lucky with the loot and pull 3 bags. Because as far as I can tell, there's no way to craft one of these. Like, there's no way to downgrade the loot bags all the way to this point. So that's a little sad. But so that was where I was at there. So I got the Monzite line turned back on. I need to set up that alternate. I'm also having power issues. So I did decide and the power issues seem to crop up when I'm doing a bunch of ingots. So, and it specifically seems to always be my vacuum freezers that start failing. And then I learned today while looking through that there's actually an alternate type of vacuum freezer. This cryogenic freezer basically complements the Volcanus over here, where instead of pyrithium, you take the cryolithium. So sometime relatively shortly, I would like to set up a bunch of those. But I think that may be, so we started off with the Mega ABS over here and want to craft more for this. This building is just going to be the fancier freezers. Just because they do, I find the Mega freezers, even though they have more parallels, they just feel really slow. So, we're going to go this route, because then I can just do we're just going to spam a bunch of them, but not quite yet, because first we do need to do power. So for power purposes, I originally was going to go with Nequata, just knock out Nequata fuel, at least get it rolling. And I did craft this Nequata reactor, as well as ran it through the scanner so that I can craft this large Nequata reactor. However, the problem is my Prismarine line had shut down, which is all the way up here on this building. And the reason it had shut down was because of this autoclave here, and specifically grade 1 water. All my grade 1 water was going directly into grade 2. I wasn't storing it. And apparently for the start of this Prismarine line, it looks like it has to be grade 1 water, unfortunately. Which is kind of sad that it has to be that. I kind of wish you could do the higher tiers, because this is the only thing I will need grade 1 water for. But, so I needed to address that specifically, because to get to this Nequata reactor, if I go to pull it up, I wonder if it'll let me craft it now, because I did fix the issue and I haven't tried to craft it yet. Next. Oh, actually I can. So I needed, where is it? Molten Prismatic Nequata. So I didn't keep this stuff on storage naturally. Over here, basically this guy, if we look at it, is making Molten Prismatic Nequata, but it was going directly into the next step without any being stored in the network. It's all just used up. That way we get all the way to these radiation proof things that are used for the coils, so I just don't ever have to worry about it. I don't have the final step after that crafted, because that takes up netherite, and I didn't want to put myself in a spot with no netherite, but I didn't think I needed that prismatic stuff. So instead, now what I have going on is it's first going to, on the subnetwork, get stored into this guy, and then now I just have a small amount available for random crafts like that if it calls for it. And if I start needing more, I'll just up the storage tank size, but I didn't want to keep a bunch of it stored, because I do want to keep everything moving. So actually, yeah, let me call for that craft, because this is something we're gonna take a multifaceted approach to fixing the power, because as soon as I can fix the power, we can start spamming a lot more crafting and move onwards and upwards, which we are moving at a pretty good clip, it feels like. But like I said, I am running into the power issues. So because of the grade 1 water I was talking about, I decided to implement something. Now, I did not come up with this on my own by any means. This is pretty much just ripped straight off of the wiki, which is the official term on the wiki is called single-threaded waterline, which is essentially, if we look at this right now, if we were to pull back, you can see 4 of the 5 things. Only the grade 1 water is running right now, and that's what it means by single-threaded. Essentially, this is a mode that takes advantage of maximizing the parallels to the amount of power you have. So like right now, this guy is running in 32 parallels because everything else is turned off, just to get our grade 1 water up fast and over the threshold we want. Which, where are we coming in at right now? Grade 1. Why is it not showing me grade 1? Grade 1. Apparently, the prismarine line is using quite a bit of it. That's a little concerning, because if I don't get the grade 1 water above... Oh, either way, not important right now. I'll have to think about that. It's almost tempting to build a second water line just for grade 1, just to keep the prismarine line going, and then... But we're getting to be crazy talk over here, but for the moment. But anyways... So with the way we control it is essentially this logic thing. And if you go to the wiki for the water line, you'll literally see this. I think the only difference is I spread them out by 1 block just to have I don't know, I just like having the little yellow stripes in here. Also to keep the bats from spawning in here. So what is going on here is basically we have a logic circuit composed of OR gates, NOR gates, OR gates, and AND gates, as well as wireless receivers and transmitters. So this guy here is a transmitter, this guy here is a receiver. This machine hall, basically 1 through 8, represents the 8 steps of it. I just set all of them up, even though I only have up to grade 5. It's no big deal. Makes it so in the future I won't have to come back and readjust anything. Literally the only thing I'll need to fix is this 1 level emitter down here, which is right now currently for the grade 5. But so if the redstone signal's on for here, this turns on the grade 1 water through a advanced redstone receiver. And then over here, these guys all represent the input hatches of the tier above the current step. So this would be for the grade 1 machine. This is the input hatch on the grade 2 with the grade 1 water. And then using a mixture of this and these level emitters, which in this case is set to grade 1 and all the way down, 2, 3, 4, etc., tells it to turn on the 1. Once this guy's full, then the logic will swap over, and as long as this guy is off, it'll turn this one on. But since, like, what's actually going to happen here if we look at the level emitters, so we're fine on 2 and 3. So what's going to happen is once I'm good on grade 1, this is going to turn on, and then I'll knock all the way down to grade 4, and then this guy will turn on. And then once all 4 of these are satisfied, grade 5 will just run forever for a while until grade 6 becomes the last one in the chain. And then if that comes all the way down to grade 8, and technically we could turn it off if it gets to a certain point when we have plenty of water if we want. I don't know what resources go in, like it could potentially be eating up if it's running constantly later on in the game. But like this guy would be able to turn the circuit off if we have enough of every step of the grade. And if we don't want to store any of the water, I can come back in here and just simply delete this AND gate, and then and basically take out this wire, this AND gate, and then this guy will just run, like it'll skip that step essentially. But that was almost everything I did today. So the other thing for power, I got a little distracted by the Nequata fuel being good, is I do want to set up for Americium fuel, or plasma, to be the main source of supercritical steam. If we we run through this guy through the extreme heat exchanger, we'll see it outputs 11 million. And I don't actually know I'm curious how fast this recipe is, because I think it's literally in 1 second. It takes 70 million input of distilled water, so I might end up needing more mega vacuum freezers, which is fine. Or, yeah, we'll see. I think this will still produce faster than this produces, so as long as I have my level emitters set, it should be all good. But I do want to swap to this, because if we compare to, say, helium plasma, that was 11 million. This guy only outputs 36,000. So, huge difference. So, American plasma we can actually make right off the bat. We just needed molten plutonium-241 and hydrogen, which we have lots of hydrogen. The 241 I did address just a few minutes ago before I started recording. So in my head I didn't realize I forgot that is a different plutonium. So plutonium. The one we have I don't know, I'm looking on this screen. If we look over here at plutonium, we have just a ton of 239, and technically I can centrifuge this stuff to also get 241. It just comes out in small, and then I would have to turn it into use a crafting table or auto crafting table or a packager, I guess would probably even be better to get this dust. We'll see if I end up needing a higher throughput. I'll definitely do that since I have so much of this stuff, plus this is the stuff that comes out of the bees. However, yeah, because the comb doesn't in any way lead to that. Actually, well, I'm looking at this. I wonder if black plutonium outputs that by any stretch of the imagination. No. Okay. So what I end up doing, though, is I went and set up a void miner on Triton. In my head, I was actually thinking I had one already, but it was Titan. Why is this is wrong? Here we go. Yeah, so I set up a void miner on Triton, and then over in the ore processing plant, at least for now, I did add the 241 to my fast track lane of ore processing, because I am taking, as with the Xeon gas and the extra void miners, I am taking in a ton of ore. It does seem to mostly be keeping up now, but at least on the initial maceration step. But as you can see, I have a ton of crushed stuff, and so this area could use a little work, but I'm not too worried about it right now. It's just definitely some room for improvement. So the goal tomorrow will be to set up the second Mark III reactor, which I do have the coils and everything for. Actually, you have the ability to set up 2 more Mark III reactors without touching that one over there, with the exception of the UV energy hatches. Do not have crafted. Let's see. Can I craft 32 right now? Let's do it. Get those crafted, and then get that set up. That should fix our supercritical steam. Should be able to maintain everything we have going on at the moment once that's set up. And then at the same time tomorrow, I'm going to look at setting up the Nequata fuel, or see at least what's going in there. I don't want to promise too hard just because things... Oh, this is a super minor, but one thing I did set up over the weekend I forgot to show off is this guy is just a line of forming presses so that I can turn any circuit into the generic circuit, which I did not realize was a thing, and now makes crafting patterns so much easier. And then I can just swap out these patterns for whichever, like if I want to use crystal processors or wet frame processors, etc. So this guy's all good and set up. And I do feel like there was one other thing I wanted to show off yesterday that I completely forgot about. But this video is getting long enough, so I'm not really sure what it is I forgot to show off yesterday. Probably wasn't important. Oh, you know what it was? It was Ledux bees and Callisto ice bees. I got those crafted so that I could have a passive for the super coolant into here. I originally was going to set up a void miner on Callisto and somewhere, I can't remember which planet gives the Wedux, and then I remembered I already had Wedux bees bred, and I had a Callisto bee bred, but I did not have the Callisto ice, so it was just as simple as breeding one bee, and then those two bees I took care of. But I still have not bred out the what's it called, the Ender IO bees, so yeah. But yeah, that's where we're at for now. I appreciate everybody for watching, and I will see you guys tomorrow. Goodbye.